Hey gang, today we're going to talk about referencing. So first of all, why do we care? And for all of you coders out there, it's a much more object-oriented process. So the individual scenes, they store individual objects, and when you reference those objects in, it keeps the file sizes down. It also allows you to work in parallel. So one person updating one object in one scene while another works on another prop instead of fighting for control of the master scene. So I have a referencing setup example already open. And you'll notice I have 3 identical trees in the same scene. They're just different scales. And I'm not too married to this setup. So I'm going to delete that and I want to preserve this scale that I have because I modified it and I want that to become the default. And I'm going to set this tree up to be a reference and then pull it back in so that we can move forward. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this tree to the origin, and I already know that I had moved it up, but it's on the origin in the y-axis right now. So I'm just going to do the X and the Z that is very specific to this one tree. Okay, and I'm going to also look at, see these inputs right here? These poly bevels and tweaks and extrudes, that's all the history for the modeling, and I want to clear that out. Edit, delete all by type, history, and then I want these transforms to be clean so that when I reference it in, it comes in with a clean slate, and then all of my translates are being edited in the master scene, as opposed to having like this concatenation of transforms, if you will, because you've got transforms on the object and then transforms when you're moving it around in your scene. So it's just not good bookkeeping. It's messy. So I go to modify freeze transforms, and notice how that zeroes out. We have a scale of 1 because I like it like that. And that's what we're going to do. So I've got my tree. And if you go to your reference editor under File, now I'm going to export this out as a reference. So File, Export Selection, and we're going to override this file that I already made while I was testing this process out. So pen_tree_01, export selection. Yes, replace. Okay, let's save. Just because I'm iterating, and in case I screwed up, I have the ability to go back. Okay, Command O. Let's open up our tree and make sure everything looks like it should. Yes, that's exactly what I am expecting. Nice transforms, no inputs. That's what we want. So I'm going to go back to my referencing setup. And then under the reference editor, hit the first icon, and that will create a reference, and I'm going to point it to our lovely tree, and it pops in the exact same spot, and I'm going to get rid of our old tree. Pew! Okay, so our old tree is gone, and you'll notice that this reference right here, it has a blue icon, so that lets you know it's a reference, and it has a namespace followed by a colon. That namespace is telling you what file it's coming from, so it's coming from pen tree 01, and this is the tree group object. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to move this bad boy over here, and maybe move it back, and sure, that looks good. And I'm going to select this tree reference, and then use this third icon, and that, as you can see, says duplicate reference, because I want more trees. So make another one, and maybe have him right there, and then I'm going to make another one, and this time I want maybe something a bit closer up, maybe a little taller, so I'm going to scale it up. And let's duplicate that one so that I've got more going on in the background. Let's see. That is actually colliding the other tree. I don't know, maybe scale it down. This one could be a shrimpy tree. And maybe a little more. And then move it over just to create some visual interest. Maybe scale it back up a little bit. And maybe make that back one bigger. Okay, I think I like that a little better. So, you know, I'm just playing right now, as you can see. And maybe I even want one more. Okay. And then scale that up a little bit with, oh, I'm hitting R, by the way, for the scale hotkey. And maybe move that a little bit. Hit the good old W hotkey. Okay, something like that. Let's do File, Save, Scene As, and version up. Okay. And let's see, we cleaned the transforms. We froze the transforms, we deleted history. Okay, all right guys, we're gonna stop there for now. Stay tuned.